Okay, let's try it. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary Lisa and this is the Girl Meets Yarn episode 8. Okay, welcome. It's been quite some time. Today is September 5th, 2018, and I believe it's been like 10 or 11 weeks since I recorded last. I'm glad to say that I am taping today or doing this from Seattle, Washington. I finally moved. I'm finally out of Arkansas, or I am finally in my final destination, I will say that. You guys, last time I talked to you guys, I was in the process of, decluttering my house and just, taking or deciding what I was going to take, okay? So I purged a lot and it felt really, really good, I will have to say that. But the move didn't go as smoothly as I planned to. As a visual merchandising manager that I was, I used to do a lot of logistic on how things were going to move. We did a lot of setups and layout, and I tried to do the same thing, but sadly the guys that did the move didn't work for me. So but everything went smooth, I will say. We had a lot of hiccups and some other stuff. It was not with the movers, I will say that. Let me get this out of the way. But I'm here. I have all my stuff. I can't worry about something else. I moved here with my 2 dogs, my 3rd dog, Lupita, which you see in the intro that she is like upside down, just kind of like moving. She passed away 2 weeks ago, and it was a long time coming. We were waiting for that to happen. We didn't know it was gonna be so sudden. If she was gonna go from being okay to being really, really sick and then died. We're gonna miss her, but thank God I have her, forever in this intro. She will forever be there. Anyway, so I'm gonna be looking this way because my computer is here. I just take number 4. Take number 1 didn't work out. I was out of focus. Number 2, the audio was horrible. And I will have to say that if you hear some cars passing by, just be, I live in a very nice, in a corner apartment, really nice neighborhood. I live in Fremont. But there's like a little busy street in front of me that I overlook into. So you will hear, some cars passing by. Anyway, so yeah, I arrived July 11th, and then before that I didn't videotape because I didn't have a lot of the setup for my camera. I did have my camera, but I didn't have a lot of the setup. And the apartment that we were, the corporate apartment that we had for a couple of weeks was super busy. It had a busy road. It was like an avenue. It was bad. So I didn't record then. And then, I've been very busy this couple of weeks with my daughter. She is here with us. She decided to stay with us. And, I was ready for her to move out. I think they turned 16 and you are starting to know, like you are like, oh, I want my kids to be with me forever and I love them so much and I cannot see myself parting ways with them or them going to college. And then when they hit 16, you understand that, oh, life is preparing me for that moment when they turn 18 or 17 and they go to college. Mine decided to stay. Okay, so bear with me. It's been hard, I would say, especially because our apartment is, a third of the space that we had before. So we are on top of each other and on our nerves. But enough of that. I will have to say, going back to the last video, I talked about some whips that I had, and I have not worked on some because the movers, whenever they came in, you go through all your rooms and you're like, take this, take that, whatever. So I said, hey guys, listen, this row of bags are going to stay, don't pack it. And I think they understood pack it all in the bottom of the box, because that's exactly what they did. They packed all my whips. So I have new whips that I've been working on, and then some of the whips that I've been working or I've talked in the past. I'm gonna have a little segment, and I think I can put it here. I think my audio was better on some items I'm going to frog and why. And you're gonna see me that I have like different ends set up, but whatever. Okay, so I've been out of practice for a while, of course. So last time I videotaped myself, I didn't say needles, I didn't say anything, and it was just a lot of editing, and I didn't want to go through that. But let's start with some finished projects. Let's do that. And I don't have them here. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember, I talked a couple of months ago about my fall capsule, and you guys, some of you guys were like, what is she talking about? Fall is spring. And I really wanted to have my dogs in a row, and I went through my closet to see what kind of gaps I did have. I had, and I needed to fill with knitwear. So you're gonna see, I'm gonna refresh you guys memory with this color. So these are my primary. I use this too as bottoms or as leather good, like boots and as purses. So, and then these are my accent colors. So you're gonna see a lot of this around my fall capsule, and I don't want you guys to be like, oh my gosh, it's so boring. It's not about being boring. It's what I truly need in my wardrobe to have a cohesive, closet. I would say that. So I realized that they packed all my whips, and I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? So Andrea Murray came out with a pattern, the Golden Hour. It's a shawl, and I was like, oh my god, I love it. I went and bought the yarn for it. It asked for 3 skeins of yarn of one of each color, and I went and I sorted it. I didn't like it, so I ripped it off. I was like, okay, this is not working. It's not my aesthetic. It was one of those things that I have to learn, that I need to be less impulsive in the patterns that I buy, not because they are on sale. I need to go and go get it, because the reality is that when I was thinking about it, I was like, this is not as exciting. Not that the one that I did was super, super exciting, but I think it was exactly what I was looking for, if I can say that. Anyway, so when I realized, oh my god, I have 3 skeins of yarn and I don't have any use, I went to Ravelry and I did my search, and I found the Kettle Valley shawl by the Knox Mountain Knits, and it's a beautiful shawl. And let me lift it up. So I bought this this terracotta color, or my husband said that is baby diary color, and then this ox kind of like reddish burgundy color, and I found this pattern. I was a little bit hesitant because I needed 120 grams of one color, which is the white, and I went over. I didn't have enough. So I have to say, it's beautiful. The wingspan is huge. It's super warm, and the yarn that I use, I'm gonna put it over my shoulders. The yarn that I use is Manos Duro White Maxima, which is the worsted weight, kind of like one ply situation. I did the Leo color, which is the mustard, like really toasted walnut color, I would say. And then the other color is the same one, Manos Duro White Maxima Ox Blood. It looks really dark here. Is not as dark. I think it's just taking the white and then blowing it out, and then just omitting, it's the camera fault. I would say that. It looks really, and at first it has a lot of texture, I would say. That's what I was looking for. I didn't want something super difficult to make or super lacy, so I wanted something chunky. I wanted something swishy. I wanted something that was just for warmth, that I can wear it over my shoulders if I have to take the dogs out, or I can wrap around on my neck. It's gonna be a little bit of a hassle to wrap it over my neck, because I have one. I have not weaved the ends or blocked it, so I hope it will kind of like lay flatter. Of course it's gonna lay flat, but it asked for, I believe it was like 100 grams of 2 colors and then 120 grams of this white one. So I was like, okay, so I can buy the white one. The white one is Plymouth yarn, the super wash, worsted weight in the color 74. It's like a bun white. It's not a white, but it's not a knit crew, which I took myself out of my fall colors, but I think it's gonna work. It truly worked. I wanted something like, I really wanted a big contrast in between them. So I wanted it to be like pow white, pow, you know, red or burgundy. And these are the extras that I have. I didn't have a lot of extras, and yeah, Mimi went through it because, you know, I have a cat now. I didn't know I had a cat, but I do. Hey, I'm gonna show you the next one, and Gringo took that ball and I had to throw it away. There was no way. Like, it was even more horrible than that one. So am I the only one, dogs, that do this? Because I was just like, come on, seriously? Come on. Hey, I hand wind a bunch of yarn that I bought, and I'm hiding it from them, both of them, because they're crazy. They're into my stuff now. Come on. Anyway, so this is what I have left, and for the white, I was pretty much here in the first final round. You have like 4 or 5 rounds, and I was in the first one and I ran out of yarn, so I have to go and get more yarn, and thank God I found it here because I bought it locally. But yeah, it used 110 because I waited that. Anyway, I will have to say I love it, and I love the description of the pattern. And I have it here, I can look it up, but I don't know if I am the only one who read descriptions of the pattern and then go ahead and do it. So I'm like, oh my God, this is like the best like story ever. So I really enjoy this one. Let me go get it. Hold on. Let me get that one. Okay, so if I go into the pattern, it says that the Kettle Valley Railway was built in the 1900s to service the growing mining demands of the interior of British Columbia. After the final section was abandoned in 1989, much of the route was converted to a multi-use recreational trail, including the awe-inspiring treacherous and tunnels of Mira Canyon. So I can see railroad on that shawl so much. I can see gravel, I can see tracks, I can see even when the tracks, you know, kind of combine. I would love to maybe hear more. I don't know, I find sometimes that the descriptions are like, is a sweater work on the round, right, and blah blah, and I want to hear more of this. Like, I believe there is a story behind everything. I forgot to say that I made that one in my Addie's US 9, and I'm in love. I think the choice was amazing. I thought about doing the little tassels. You can do like a little bit of kind of tassels, I would say French, and I thought about doing it, but thank you, Gringo. Thank you. Anyway, okay, let's keep on going with my next FO, and I talked about this one last time, and I think I was right here. I was like starting the color work, and I was a little hesitant on my color choices, I will have to say, because I had this. Let me zoom it out for you guys. Okay, look how that blew out my okay, there you go. So this is Hedgehog Fibers Truffle, and it has all the colors of my fall capsule on it. And I was like, this is too wild for me. Like, I don't know if I can pull this out and look good on me. And I was way wrong. I think that first instinct that I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And then my mind started to doubt, right? Be like, oh, I don't know. Well, I don't know if that will be you, whatever. But I pushed through and it worked. So let me go and get, because now I'm obsessed. Let me see if I can find the description for the Sapilla. And I don't think there's one. Maybe I'm mistaken. Okay, hold on. Here it is. It says, Sapilla is a knit from the top down in the round. There are options for either long or short sleeve included in the pattern. Make sure you check the suggested gauge for the version you prefer, as the long sleeve version will require more yardage. The body length is easily customized for changing. It will also affect the yardage, so please keep that in mind if you're using hand painted or speckle, whatever, blah, blah, blah. There's no description. There's nothing. Nothing. That's the description. Boring. Yes, I need to find this. I love stories. Just make me a story and I'll buy you pattern. Tell me a fairy tale. Making it up. I don't know. Anyway, so here it is. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to show my finished, object. Anyway, so this is a Sapilla. I did the short sleeve version. I believe that speckle worked amazingly here, and I love that this area here, it has kind of like a greenish, and on the other side, on the back side, it has a different color. So I am in love. I love the finished project. I used, again, the Hedgehog Fiber and the Truffle. And I used, I believe it was Malabrigo yarn sock in the color Sandbank. And I had a little bit, I will say I had like 10 grams left. And Gringo took it and destroyed it. Anyway, my new cat. Anyway, so I was so worried, guys. Was so worried. Because I was like, oh my God, I won't have any yarn for my sleeves. And, sorry, there you go. So, I had a lash emergency. I needed to roll my lashes. I have so much grays. My appointment for my hair is going to be September 19th, and I cannot wait. I may do my hair before and just do it all black. But my lashes, I love my lashes. I need my lashes. I am that shallow. I don't care. Anyway, back to the Sapilla. Okay, so it took me, I will say, around 13 days to finish the entire garment. I will say it was after the colorway, it was just, stuck in it. For me, it was a little bit difficult because I cannot knit without looking. So I was like, oh my God, I've just been doing this forever and I don't see the end of it. But I finally did. Okay, so I decided to do the ribbon edge, and she gives you the two options. She gives you the option to do a ribbon or a rolled edge, and I'm not a fan of the rolled edge on the hem. Okay, so I went ahead and I did the ribbon here, and I did the one by one, and I did the same thing here. And I remember I said that I was thinking about just doing one color ribbed and not do that accent color on the ribbon, but I had so little of the Sandbank or the main color. I had like 24 grams of it, and I thought I was not gonna have enough because whenever it was this small. but I did have enough. I went down 2 inches and I went and I did the color work and then the ribbon, no problem there. Didn't have any problems. At first, I was really tight. Whenever I change into being continental, and I did had a lot of practice with my color work, now I don't see any tugging, and you will see you will see some, but it's not as before. So I was a little bit worried about the hem on the sleeve, but it did work beautifully. I noticed that I have some guns that I have to work on. I have to do some, arm work, but anyway. So yeah, it's a really pretty, beautiful design. I totally think I'm gonna use this a lot with jeans, skirts, even over jumpsuits. It's just beautiful. If I don't remember, if you guys remember, I would say that I didn't gauge swatch, so I used the needles that the pattern asked for, which is the US size 4 needles, and it did work. I don't want to say that I knit like her, and I was really dumb not to do a gauge swatch. However, when I do a gauge swatch, I have so much problems. I'm going to talk about that later, but with this one, it did really work, and thank God, right? Thank Jesus Christ. Anyway, so happy with it. I don't know. It just worked out magnificently. I have a friend, she did the long sleeve version, and she did have a little bit of problems with the sleeve, with the color work. I was not a fan of the color work on the cuff. Not that it's nothing wrong with it, it's just like it was not what I just was not for me. That makes sense. Anyway, Sipila, Caitlin Hunter, if you don't know, if you live under a rock, it's from Caitlin Hunter. I forgot to say that. Anyway, so yeah. So I'm going to insert a little bit of the clip that I had from the previous day, and you're going to see some of the items that I frogged. I don't want to go again through it because I frog one completely. I don't have it anymore, let's put it that way. I was watching this podcast and I heard this lady talking about this other podcast that she watched, and this lady said that she had like 30 or some insane amount of whips, and how can she do it, she can do it that, and she will be so stressed out and blah blah. And right now I'm looking around and I'm like, oh my god, I have so many whips, so even though, I got a little trigger by that comment, I thought it was a little judgmental, and we all knit differently. We all have our madness, right? We all like to have different amounts, right? For some of us, having 20 whips is totally okay, and it's very entertaining to jump from one to another. People do that with books, people do that with embroidery, people do that with sewing. They even do that at work, right? And because that's how their brain works and keep them entertained. And for some others, just having 2 whips or being monogamous is a deal. It doesn't mean that you are less than or more than. It's just mean that this is the way that you are. So having an opinion about somebody's whips, I found it really judgmental. So I was like contemplating like my whips, and I was like, I'm gonna go through my whips. So I opened my boxes and I found all my whips that I had lined up, and I'm gonna talk about this in particular. This is my Ugo by Michio, and this is a beautiful pattern. It's a beautiful sweater. It's gorgeous. I was so excited. I gauge swatch. It gave me gauge with size 6 needle. Okay, so I blocked my little swatch and the whole thing, and it looked perfect. So I went and I did my measurements, and I decided I was going to do the medium large size. So you have extra small, small, medium large, and extra large, XXX large in the pattern. So I decided that I was going to, let me show you a little image of it. I was going to go ahead and do the medium. So I noticed right after I divided the sleeves and I started with the sleeve that this was growing and growing and growing. So if I show you guys right now, if I catch where my sleeve is going to start, right? And I put it under my armpit and I stretch this out, right? And I'm going to stretch this out as well because I don't have long enough cable. I know, I need to. Okay, so if I was here, then I have pretty much all this extra. So this looks like 4 inches to me. Multiplied by 2, that is like 9 to 10 inches of positive ease I'm gonna have. Right now the neck is losing its shape. You see, it's huge. So you're supposed to have like a little shorty, what is it called, turtleneck, or kind of like a boat neck, you know, like that short, really cute one. And right now is huge. So I have all this extra. So if I put it on, it's gonna be frumpy enough. And I think right now the yarn is not working and the size that I chose is not working. So this is the Sonata, Noto Sonata cotton blend. So this is cotton and silk blend. So we know that cotton, instead of shrinking when we wash it and block it, it just kind of like gets huge and keep on stretching. So this is gonna get super big. And given the fact that it's heavy cable sweater, it's gonna be even more heavy and it's gonna grow even more. So it's time for me to say it's time to frog it. So this is gonna be frogged. I know, it's so sad and I am so sad and I feel like a failure right now, but I did all the steps and even though it didn't work, so it's totally cool. So I made this bag, nothing fancy, it's just a nice cute bag. And yeah, I will be able to store the yarn right and then probably send some to my mom. She will love to have this yarn because of course she's in Puerto Rico, she loves to have cotton. She can use it, and if not, I can store it for something coming up soon or maybe the same one. I don't know. I think this sweater needs another yarn pretty much. So sad. Second revision that I have is the Laden. Is in this beautiful bag by Walmart. It's in this beautiful bag that I bought. Hey, no months, okay? So no judgment. So this pattern is in this edition of Pom-Pom. This is the summer one, and I was such in love with this sweater, and I think it's so beautiful. And it's by Natalie Sayers, and she used a linen blend for this one. And I love it. I think it's beautiful. I think I will definitely do it, but I think it's time to frog it. Why? I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so I did this part, this second part that I'm trying to start here 3 times, the entire part. And I noticed that it was not working. So I was like, what is going on? So the second time I checked and it has an errata, so it has a little mistake. So go ahead and do it and check it out if you're watching, or if you're gonna have this on your queue. Yeah, that is another lesson for me. You need to check if there's mistakes before you start. Okay, and then this little part that I have started 3 times and I made a mistake, so I need to start it a 4th time. And I use the same yarn that I use for the Hugo. It's the Sonata cotton blend. And when you frog this yarn so many times, it gets really fluffy and it looks really, it looks really bad. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it just looked like a hot mess. So again, my mom was in love with this sweater, so I may just go ahead and send her this to her with this. She's gonna love all this, and she will be able to do that, to do them and enjoy them. So yeah, so about the first one. And again, if I go, hold on. I cannot stop this video anymore because I'm gonna be here forever and ever. I cannot do that. Okay, so my first whip that I'm gonna talk about is the piece of silver. And I think I had this pattern, and I'm looking for the pattern so I can read the description. And this is why I bought this pattern. I'm not kidding. Okay, hold on. It says, starting a new project is always exciting. In your hands, you hold a new color, a new yarn, and a new dream to come true. You look forward to the countless hours of knitting, the smooth movement of the needles keeping you happy. Piece of Silver is a raglan sweater with a lovely rib color and slightly boxy shape, crop body. It's light and soft to wear throughout the year. Sold! People, come on, like this is what I expect from patterns from now on. You need to do a description that is spot on good. I was like, yeah, sold it. I want it. I want to have that, you know. I want to hear the needles, although I hate myself right now because anyway, let me show it to you. So this is the piece of silver, and I can only show you the side, okay, because I have a situation I'm going to talk about. I have a very difficult situation happening on, okay, right now, and let me see if I can. Okay, so like it says, is a raglan sweater, work from the top down, okay, and is lightly boxy, and is a little bit of crop, and like a layering piece, I would say. I cannot show it because you guys, I had so many issues with this thing. Okay, so I was a good knitter, okay? So let's put it out there. I did the, you know, sometimes I'm always saying to my kids, you need to do the right thing, but they're like, sometimes the right thing is not the right thing, right? And I'm like, okay, so yeah, like mind games, you know, trying to manipulate us, but in this instant, I will have to say they have a little bit of a point, because I gaze watch and this is not working. I'm not kidding. Okay, so I went and I did my gaze swatch with the needle 5, and I blocked it and all that. I don't know where it is, somewhere in this apartment, but I did, and it was showing me that I needed to go a size bigger. So I was like a size 6. I did the same thing, and I didn't block it, or I didn't, of course, I didn't block it or didn't do anything about that. I was just like, oh, now I see, I can get the measurement, and I think that was my Achilles heel right now, right there, because I didn't block it, I didn't wash it, I didn't block it, I didn't do that. So I thought that the 5 wasn't gonna work, it was gonna be too small. So I should have done more of a thinking about this and then block and wash, because right now I think if I have done finished that one, I will have just not even this. Okay, so it gave me the measurements that I needed to go to a size 6. So the rib was worked in a size 2 needles, and then the body was, the suggested needles were a size 5. So I was like, okay, so if asked me for size 6 on the bodies, I'm gonna go and do the size 3 for the ribbing turtleneck thing. So I went and I did exactly that, and this was hell. This was like whenever somebody put their nails on a chalkboard and they go down, it was horrible. I hate ribbing with passion, and I hate ribbing with passion because this asks for 10 inches of ribs, okay? I am such a slow knitter when it comes to ribbing that it was not working, you know? So 9.5 inches, I was like, F this, I'm gonna start the bodice. I cannot wait. And so I went and I started the bodice and I was in love. I will have to say, it's such a beautiful, and I wish I can show you guys, but and you know, it's just so beautiful. It looks so good. So I finished the rib, right? It asked for, I believe it's like 12 or 14 inches of, from, not even that, I think it's even less. Let me see. So I did like the pattern asked me, and I'm trying to say, okay, so after you cut or separate for the sleeves, it's 9.5 inches. You just do the hem, and I did. So whenever I took my sweater out of the needles, of course I didn't have any sleeves, I put it on, it was huge. Okay, it's so bad and so huge. It's huge. So okay, so the pattern said that your body, it's going to be 40 inches. Mine is 48. Okay, I have the measurements for an extra large and I did a medium. I don't know why. Come on! Anyway, the first enjoyable stockinette sweater that I was just so excited. And I think that's the problem, that I was so excited and I lose my gaze even a lot, but you know, it's huge. I don't know, I'm gonna wear it. I promise you I'm gonna wear it. Okay, so I finished my hem and I was like, oh, okay, so I have one ball and I have 2 sleeves, and each sleeve asked me to do 1/16 inch of the sleeve. So I'm not gonna be able to do that. So I was doing one, and look at the sleeves, are huge. They're huge, okay? They're huge. Right now I'm magic looping both of them. I'm using one, you know, one from one side, one from the other, and I will say this yarn is amazing. Okay, so this is the Mondium, is from Retosaria, and this is color 209. I bought it at Told. Okay, Told. And I love this. Is so pretty. It's the perfect marble, I will say. This color is kind of like a light gray, and it has dark gray speckles. I was in love. I love how it knit everything. Then I was like, no problem, right? Before I was in Arkansas, but now I work. I live in Seattle, so it's like 30 minutes to go to Tolt yarn shop. So I got into my car, went to Tolt. They were like, oh yes, we had it. So when they showed me what they had, the difference between batches of this yarn is insane. The dye lot is insane. It was just so different. The other one, the one that they have, it more echreish, and it looked not as dark as this one. It was really washed out. It was not the color. So I was like, dang it, what am I gonna do? So I decided to do them both at the same time and go as far as I can go, and then rip. And I call for everybody to do a miracle. I have my white candle on because Jesus, this is happening. I'm using this one this fall because I'm not kidding. I am in love. So yeah, sorry, I am the worst podcaster. Thank you for being here, but I cannot show you anything more than, yeah, from the side. But I will have to say, I put it on and it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and it's long and it's huge. It's huge. Right now, you see, it's huge. Hold on, it's huge. It's huge. It's huge. It's okay. It's okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start another one because I think this style, I'm gonna use it so much. This is truly a timeless piece, and I bet there's like so many patterns like that, but what caught me the attention was the fact that the introduction was so beautiful. In this pattern, if you have the Lane magazine, I think it was the volume 1. Hold on. Lane magazine number 1 is in there. It's amazing. Okay, I think I talked about that piece of silver for 10 minutes. I'm so sorry. Okay, so since the first time, since my first podcast, I talk about this pattern. I am in love with Junko Kamoto. Everybody knows that. I believe she is the queen, okay? You know, the other day I was talking to my husband, and my husband was like, I don't get this. And I was like, I don't know about this designer. I don't know. You know, like the construction of this sweater is beautiful. It's like poetry. It's like reading poetry. Sometimes it's like Ellen Poe guy, which you are like struggling through his poem. I've been struggling to this whip, but the pattern is amazing. It just is amazing compared to other patterns that I have done it with increases while you're doing color work. This one, you don't see any holes. There's nothing. Okay, so Junko, I love you. I think you are so good. Oh, and coming back to the books, I said, you know, sometimes I believe there's designers that are like that writer that wrote the Twilight, right? It was very popular. Everybody wants to read the Twilight. Twilight was a piece of junk of book, right? It was just so badly written. And, you know, it has 4 movies. The movies were so successful. The movies were horrible. And we don't get it. Because we have been, my husband is an avid reader and I am an avid reader too. And I'm like, I don't get it. It's the same thing with what is that? The 50 Shades. There's so many good, amazing books that are way better than the 50 Shades of Grey, and they're equally steamy, and they're like spot on, beautifully written, and nobody's paying attention to them. So, you know, I believe Junko is so good, and she is amazing. I think people should. I think the problem with Junko, and you know, I loving her, I think the only thing that I was a little bit concerned, and I get from people, is that the fact that she doesn't give you sizes, like extra small, small, medium size. You know, she just do like one size only, and you have to do a little math if you want to make it bigger. That's the only thing that I would say. But without further ado, 2 minutes after, I will present you the twigs. Okay, so I bought so much yarn for this. Okay, so I bought a worsted weight yarn for this one, thinking that it was a DK. Okay, so that moike yarn that she asked for is supposedly a sport, but I got gauged with fingering. So I bought a worsted, a DK, a sport, and then I bought a fingering weight. I have all those yarns. Don't worry, I'm gonna use them. However, it took me forever, so I don't know what I'm gonna say. Buy one, buy one. Okay, so I got gauged with my fingering weight yarn, and the one that I'm using right now is hold on. So the main color is this Araucania Wasco pure extra fine merino wool. Says it's hand painted in Peru, and it's the color 106. It's a brownish chocolatey color, and it has some variegation on it, but it's not too wild, I will say. So it asked for 3 colors, and I was like, I'm gonna just do this 2. I'm gonna do this white one with speckles of the colors of my fall that I found. And when I started knitting and I started doing the color work, some of those burgundy speckles were in, you know, showing, and you couldn't see the work. So I had to go rip it back and then do some change of course. So what I did, I mixed this one with some of the yarn that I had left from the Tegna, okay? And it asked for 60 grams. I had 60 grams, and I think I'm gonna have enough, okay? And the asked for 2 colors. Color C1 they use a lot, and then C2 they use in more like the smallest part of the color work. So I did white, this color, which is like old rose, kind of beigey color, and then I did this maroon variegation. So a lot of variegation, not at all here. There's some here, but here this is pure white. This is from Manos Uruguay. It's called Natural, and it asks for 95 grams. And I think I'm gonna have some left. Here it asks for 60 grams, and I have this for the second sleeve, which I think I'm gonna have enough. And then she asked for 400 and something, 480 grams of this, and I think I'm going to have one skein extra, I believe. Maybe I'm mistaken. Okay, I'm losing the light. So here we go. So this is the front. You start with white, and then you do white and a little bit of that accent color. You have the all rose here, combination of those, a lot of white. So here it is. This is the front, and this is the back. You have a little bit of short rows on the back. And when I arrived from Arkansas, I was here. So yeah, I've been lazy. I will have to say, this is a labor of love. You knit with twigs. This is I got gauge with the size 2 needles. I got gauge with the fingering weight yarn. I didn't want to go smaller than this US 2, and it's just so hard knitting with needles so small. You know, I get it for socks, but as a sweater, this big of a sweater, it's a labor of love, but it paid off. Like the fabric that you made up with these needles are amazing, amazing. Let me change my configuration because this is going. Okay, so I change my camera. It's a little bit lighter. Anyway, so there we go. Guys, when I was here, which is the last color work, this kind of little trees, it was at 540 stitches. It was insane. In a US size 2 needle, 50. Hold on. Let me revise the. Guys, I'm in the last page. It's insane. It's insane. Anyway, so before you divide for the sleeves, you have 540 stitches. 540 stitches in a size 2 needle. It was horrible. There's no description for this sweater. I bet she has a beautiful story about it, but I cannot say anything more than this is gorgeous. Okay, so before this, I was seriously considering plucking my eyeballs out with the needles because it was just so freaking difficult. And then you go down to 400 stitches, and then you do all this work, which this one was a pain in the butt. And then you have 30 rows of ribbing. 30, okay? 30. On the sleeves, you have a 16 row cuff, which is like 8 inches. I'm just going to just go in and measure 8 inches, because if I have to count 60 rows, I'm going to burn this down. I'm going to bake it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it in the dryer, because that is a lot of, okay, that's a lot for a cuff. But I'm not kidding, I was a little bit hesitant about the 30 rows, or this is like 4 inches of the edge, the rib edge, the bottom, and by half of it I was a little like, oh, I can just bind off, but I was like, just go for it, just keep on going. And I'm not kidding, it's so worth it. It's so beautiful. And if I put it on top of me right now, it's a little bit cropped, but however, it has room. So I'm a size medium. If you are a petite girl, it will look really trendy and fun on you. If you are small, or if you are, if you're a large, maybe an extra large, you probably can just go up a little bit on the needles to make yourself, I think if you're an extra large, this will look good. I think the problem with me, I don't have any kind of like a lot of chest, so I don't know how to adjust for that. Cannot give you any clues. I'm like as flat as you can get them. Anyway, so that's my twig. I am in love. Let me see, 3 minutes. Okay. So before I leave, and I will leave you guys for now, for a while. Before I leave, I want to talk about this magazine. I think it's back ordered. I bought it thinking I was going to, I love this magazine, thinking I was going to do that. But after doing that one, I don't know if I want to do like a super intricate color work sweater. But I would have to say, if you don't have this one, go get it. Or order it, or you know, wait for it because it's beautiful. And my daughter asked me if I could make her this, because apparently this situation here is really trendy with young people. Who knew? This one is a short one, so it's a little bit cropped, and I think I'm going to. Let me revise that. I think I'm going to make it for me, and I will lend it to her, because then she will know that she cannot put it in the washer and the dryer, because she is so, yeah, she will put it in the washer and dryer for sure. But it's a crop short. I cannot show you without showing you the info, but if you see here, it's short, and apparently this is super trendy. I didn't know. She was like, oh my god, that is like super, like, oh, I've seen that in so many places. And I'm like, where? Because I don't know. So I think these people, all of these, you know, publications are amazing. They have everything for everybody. And before I leave, I'm gonna just show you some dream eating that I have lined up for whenever I'm done with this twig. I have to finish that twig this week or the week before or the week after, because I just need to start this one. And I went and I got the Brooklyn Tweed Loft yarn, and I'm all about hand winding my yarn. And I want you guys to tell me if you like cakes or you like hand winding. I love this one. I will have to say I love it. I love it till it's like 3/4 on, you know, like after I'm like 300 yards in, I hate my life. I don't know why I did this for, and everything gets tangled, and my husband cannot hold his arms well, or something happens and I want to, you know, seriously murder somebody, and then when I ended it up, it looks amazing, but I don't know, it's just I cannot make this work. I'm not kidding. It's just like I love this. It's just a hard work. So I have this one lined up for the wool and honey from Andrea Mowry. Supposedly the pattern is beautiful, and you get it. I bought it because of the description. Okay, it says this sweater this sweater is inspired by some of my favorites. I think she just she missed that one. This sweater is inspired by some of my favorite things: wool and honey yarn, shop in northern Michigan, Brooklyn Tweed Love, honeycombs, and my current favorite color, rustic orange. Knit top down with a flattering crop boxy silhouette. It looks equally beautiful paired with your favorite jeans or thrown over a dress. So, okay, so here we go. If you have not seen this one, I think this is a beautiful, kind of like out of all the colorway that I've been doing with, you know, I need a break. So I think this one, the Brooklyn Tweed, they have the color that she made it with, but I really love this rusty color that goes again with my fall collection, or fall, not collection, my fall wardrobe. Okay, so lastly, you know, I say that I don't like some stuff, but then I have this mental farts. Okay, so I bought this color from Ritual Dyes, and this is a color rhodonite. The color rhodonite. So this is a fingering 2-ply twist. It's 80/20. merino and nylon. It's 4,000 yards, and I bought it. And I went to Tolt and I grabbed this, and she was like, let me see if I can find it. And I couldn't like let it go. I was just like holding it so tight and into my chest, like no. And I even, you know, I had those moments that I'm like a 2-year-old, and then I complain about my daughter. I'm equally like her. Like I really behave like a toddler. So I went and I bought this one because I have that no frill sweaters from Petite Knit. However, she came out with this new sweater that is way better than the no frills, although the no frills is really cute, but I don't know if it's gonna work. The other one, this let me put the name here, it's just made with this, and I cannot do that. So I will have to just use these or use a combination blend, because I cannot do just this. I will definitely burn it because it gets in my nose. But look at this combination, it's beautiful. So right now I bought 4 of this at $28. It's a lot of money. And then I went and I got 5 of this, and these are $16.50. So this is a lot of money. Like, I don't know why we knitters do this, but it better be like amazing. Anyway, if not, I will just go and change it for another color and then get more to do that other one. I don't know, say that I didn't want to do it, and then I'm saying like I want to do it. Make up your mind. Anyway, so I bought this one, but I wonder if I use a gray color. Oh, but I love this blush because this is blush, you know, it looks like this one. Anyway, so Petite Knit no frill sweaters for this one. My battery's gonna die. Okay, so that's it for today. I will see you guys. I promise I'm gonna get more organized, and that's it. I'm not gonna talk anything about sewing, and I did videotape myself doing the sewing session that I said that I was gonna do it last time, and I never uploaded. Maybe I do it today and I'll upload it with this, or maybe next week, but I will see you guys soon. My name is Mary Lisa, and you guys know where to find me. Take care. Bye.